Almadım da abi.
They start asking questions, yeah.
To get one arm. Am I really doing this shit? Am I singing? I can y'all can see me. Man, I get tripping. This Friday. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. We're walking through the grass.
Live right now. Amen.
Keep going. I wanted to say it was really nice.
All of our opportunity to be on program. Let us sing together. We shall overcome. Sing with victory. We shall overcome. On that side. Today.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s press conference at Santa Rita Jail. There can be no justice without peace, and there can be no peace without justice. For I believe, absolutely, that justice is indivisible, and injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Conscience asks the question, is it right?
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ali Shahi, and I am a member of the San Francisco Muslim Community Center. I am 13 years old, and I attend Hillview Junior High School in Pittsburgh, California. And today, I will be reading an excerpt from a letter from Birmingham Jail by Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'm cognizant of the interrelatedness of all communities and states. I cannot sit idly by in Atlanta and not be concerned about what happens in Birmingham. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Never again can we afford to live the narrow provincial outside agitator ideal. Anyone who lives inside the United States can never be considered an outsider anywhere within its bounds. Now it is time to make real the promise of democracy and transform our pending national elegy into a creative psalm of brotherhood. Now is the time to lift our national policy from quicksand of racial injustice to the solid rock of human dignity.
Is everybody ready for verse 2? Y'all ready? Walked hand in hand? Well, let's sing it. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. Let them hear you on Market Street. Let them hear you everywhere. Day, oh, deep in my heart, I do.
I'm a senior at Stewart Hall High School. I'm 17 years old, and I will be reading a excerpt from Dr. King's letter from Burning Hill Jail. I must confess that over the past few years, I have been gravely disappointed with the white moderate. I have almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block in his stride towards freedom is the white moderate, who is more devoted to order than to justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, who constantly says, I agree with you in the goal you seek, but I cannot agree with your methods of direct action, who patternistically believes that he can set a timetable for another man's freedom, who lives by a mystical concept of time, and who constantly advises the Negro to wait for a more convenient season. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. Lukewarm acceptance is much more bewildering than outright rejection. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Grace Pading. I'm a junior at St. Ignatius High School, and I attend the Buddhist Church of San Francisco. Today I will be reading an excerpt from Beyond Vietnam, A Time to Break Silence by Martin Luther King. This call for a worldwide fellowship that lifts neighborly concern beyond one's tribe, race, class, and nation is in reality a call for an all-embracing and unconditional love for all men. This oft misunderstood and misinterpreted concept, so readily dismissed by the niches of the world as a weak and cowardly force, has now become an absolute necessity for the survival of men. When I speak of love, I am not speaking of some sentimental and weak response. I am speaking of a force which all the great religions have seen as the supreme, unifying principle of life. Love is somehow the key that unlocks the door, which leads to ultimate reality. This Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist belief about ultimate reality is beautifully summed up in the first epistle of St. John. Let us love one another. For God is love, and everyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. If we love one another, God dwelleth in us, and his love is perfected in us.